I wanted to start today's video with a little thought experiment. Assuming we're in the middle of stage 3, and you have an Ezreal 2-star with Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. You have a Draven 1-star, you have a Draven in your shop. Would you sell the Ezreal to transfer the items towards the Draven 1-star and use Draven 1-star as your sort of like item dump or item carry for the remainder of stage 3? Now I'm going to assume that a lot of you will say no, I want to keep my Ezreal. I feel like Ezreal is doing a pretty good job and Draven isn't. Draven feels kind of terrible in this set. And I get you, because I try to play a lot of Draven and I always run into the issue of I can't make him brick a lot of the times. So I went on the PBE, digged around a bit, and I found some pretty significant bugs that are currently holding Draven back, which is what I'm going to share with you today. To first understand what is wrong with Draven, we need to get an idea about how his ultimate is supposed to work. The Draven is able to hold a maximum of 2 X's, which will deal a huge increased amount of damage. And those X's will spin and he can catch them, which will reset, so you don't actually have to, he doesn't have to recast it. You can see the X's pretty visibly on like the increased damage. It's like 330 damage right now. This is his X damage. And since he's able to hold 2 X's, you can see that every single auto attack from him deals right now a 330 damage instead of the 130 damage or whatever it was before. And this is how it's supposed to work, right? Like, because right now he doesn't have that much attack speed, so he always has that X saved up, which will result in, his attacks dealing the increased damage. But the problem is that this isn't always the case, and I have a pretty good example for you here. Now, the problem with Draven is that he has a bug right now that causes him to lose his X's. And this happens for the first 2 X's, and it can even create a situation if you don't have a Ginzo, then he will pretty much every second auto attack from him will never have the X damage. So if you check the damage right now, we have 358, 135, 358, 135. But this isn't supposed to be happening. He's supposed to have, he's supposed to do 385 damage every single auto attack, but he doesn't. And the reason for this is just because he's dropping his X's. Now, one of the reasons why Ginzo is pretty much one of the best Draven items that you can build on him is because Ginzo will automatically fix this bug. What's gonna happen is, even if you have like an Infinity Edge, a BT, and a Ginzo, then he will actually lose his X's again. Like right there you could see he only dealt 113 damage, even though he was supposed to be doing more damage. But the thing about Ginzo is that with the increased attack speed and the increased mana gain, as you could see with the Kai'Sa right there, he gets crit after crit after crit, and it's always the X damage. And this is one of the reasons why Ginzo Draven will feel a lot better than not running Ginzo on him, because he will actually fix the bug with the losing X's himself, and as a consequence will now have the increased amount of damage. Personally, I'm kind of a little bit sad because I don't think, we had a similar Draven bug running around on set 5, and it looks like this bug existed more or less for the entirety of set 6.5, and which likely is one of the reasons, I mean, it's not the only reason, but it's likely one of the reasons why Draven always felt a little bit underwhelming to play as a carry, because he's just, there's too many auto attacks coming from him that don't have the increased X damage, and considering this is his primary source of damage, he can feel pretty bad right now. My suggestion, if you don't want to run into this type of issue, then you should probably look into always giving him a Ginzo, so Draven repairs this bug by himself, and as a consequence, he's gonna he can still be a decent B tier type comp, but we'll have to see. Hopefully the next iteration of the Draven won't have the same issues. I hope you learned something today, and see you the next time.